Have you ever wondered what drives a person to dedicate their entire life to serving those in need, facing unimaginable adversity? The story of Mother Teresa of Calcutta is a powerful example of unwavering faith and genuine love. This woman, who transformed the lives of thousands with her compassion and courage, began her journey so humbly that few could have predicted the magnitude of her impact. Her life is a testament that, amid the greatest challenges, it is possible to find and create miracles through serving others. This is not just a story of sainthood, but of a radically transformative vision that challenges our understanding of success and fulfillment. Are you ready to explore how the faith, dedication, and humanity of Mother Teresa not only shaped her life, but also offered a new perspective on what it truly means to live for others? Come discover how her story continues to resonate and inspire us all, challenging us to see the world with compassionate eyes and to live with a greater purpose. Childhood and vocational calling. From an early age, young Agnes Gongsa Bojaxiu, who the world would later know as Mother Teresa, felt a different calling. Born in 1910 in the city of Skopje, to a devout and close-knit family, she grew up in an environment that valued faith and care for others. Imagine a curious young girl absorbing the teachings of her mother, who would always say, "Never let anyone come to you without leaving happier." These simple yet powerful words planted in her heart a deep desire to serve. Perhaps for this reason, at the age of 18, Agnes made a decision that would change her life forever: to become a missionary. At 18, she left for Ireland to join the Sisters of Loreto, a congregation dedicated to educating young women. It was the beginning of a journey full of challenges, but guided by unshakable faith. There, far from her homeland, she faced the difficulties of language and homesickness, but none of this deterred her from her purpose. Agnes's calling was not just a youthful whim. It was a mission she carried as a burning flame within her chest. Who would have guessed that this determined yet fragile young woman would find her true purpose in a place as distant as India? And so, at 19, after her novitiate, Agnes was sent to India, where she took the name Teresa in honor of Saint Teresa of Lisieux. In Calcutta, she began her work as a teacher, a role she performed with dedication and love. But little did she know that this was only the beginning. That vibrant and chaotic city, full of contrasts, was about to become the setting for her true vocation. Teresa did not yet know it, but her heart was about to be touched once again by a deeper calling, which would lead her to leave the comfort of the convent and immerse herself in the streets, where the need was greater and more urgent. Mission in India and founding of the Missionaries of Charity. When Teresa arrived in Calcutta, she dedicated herself entirely to her role as a teacher. The school's walls were not just classrooms. They were refuges of hope amid the extreme poverty surrounding the city. But even while teaching and helping shape the future of young Indian women, something inside her began to stir. Then, in 1946, during a train ride to Darjeeling, Teresa experienced what she described as a call within the call. It was an inner urge directing her to leave the convent and serve the poorest of the poor, not in some distant place, but in the very streets she already knew so well. This call within the call was not easy to follow. Leaving the safety of the convent, the comfort of routine, and even her fellow sisters of Loreto required courage and unbreakable faith. But Teresa, driven by an almost supernatural force, stepped out into the streets of Calcutta, determined to make a difference. At first, it was a huge challenge. She was alone, with no resources, no clear plan, but with a purpose that shone like a beacon in the darkness. She began caring for the sick, providing shelter for the homeless, and bringing comfort to those in the greatest need, all with her own hands and a will of iron. It was in this context that, in 1950, Mother Teresa founded the Missionaries of Charity. The order began with just 13 members, but the mission of caring for those no one else wanted to see quickly attracted attention and more hearts dedicated to the cause. The white habit with blue borders worn by the sisters became a symbol of hope and compassion in the streets of India. What started with small gestures, such as caring for a dying person on the roadside, grew into a network of love that spread across the country and later the world. Teresa's mission was not just about providing food or shelter. It was about restoring dignity, about seeing human value where many saw only misery. Humanitarian work and mission expansion. Mother Teresa's mission grew beyond what anyone could have imagined. From the simple act of caring for a dying person on the street, her work expanded exponentially. The missionaries of charity began opening homes for lepers, terminally ill patients, and abandoned children, offering care and dignity where there had only been neglect. Each shelter, each makeshift hospital, was a living testament to her belief that everyone deserves to be loved and cared for, regardless of their condition. For Mother Teresa, each person she helped was a reflection of Christ, a brother or sister in need. Over time, Mother Teresa's mission expanded beyond the borders of India. What started with a small group of sisters in Calcutta became a global network of compassion. In over 120 countries, with more than 600 foundations, the missionaries of charity took humanitarian work to new heights. They didn't just offer the basics for survival. They gave love, care, and, above all, a sense of belonging to those society often preferred to forget. It was more than charity. It was a movement that transcended religions, cultures, and borders. Mother Teresa didn't just see the pain of the world. She did something about it. Her humanitarian work was a living lesson that actions speak louder than words. She faced criticism, challenges, and countless adversities, but her vision never wavered. With each new center opened, with each new child rescued, the message was clear. There is always something that can be done, even in the face of the greatest difficulties. And so, what began as a personal act of faith transformed into a global movement of charity, inspiring thousands to follow her example and see the world through more compassionate eyes. Recognition and awards. The impact of Mother Teresa's work did not go unnoticed, and in 1979 she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Upon receiving this honor, she made sure to emphasize that the prize was a recognition of the poor, the excluded, and all those who suffer. In her acceptance speech, she stressed that the greatest destroyer of peace today is abortion, advocating her belief that every life is precious from conception. Teresa's humility was evident when she refused the traditional Nobel banquet, requesting that the money be used to help those in need instead. In addition to the Nobel Prize, Mother Teresa received numerous awards and recognitions throughout her life. The Presidential Medal of Freedom, awarded in the United States, and the John XXII International Peace Prize are just a few examples that show how her work transcended borders and ideologies. These awards were more than trophies. They were tools Mother Teresa used to bring even more visibility to her cause and inspire others to follow the path of compassion and service to others. But for Mother Teresa, true recognition came from the grateful looks of those she helped, from the smiles that emerged even in the midst of pain. Rather than being dazzled by the spotlight and prestige, she remained focused on her mission, always repeating that it's not about what we do, but about how much love we put into what we do. And it was this love that made her work resonate throughout the world, showing that, regardless of awards or praise, the most important thing is the genuine impact we leave on people's lives. Faith and spirituality. For Mother Teresa, faith was at the center of everything she did. She saw Christ in every person in need, from terminally ill patients to abandoned children. This perspective guided her every moment, turning each act of care into a living prayer. To her, serving others was serving God, and this is what gave her the strength to face the harshest adversities. Her devotion to the Catholic faith was not just a theoretical principle. It was a daily practice reflected in her gaze, her words, and most of all, her actions. However, Mother Teresa also had her moments of doubt and spiritual darkness. Letters revealed after her death showed that she went through long periods of spiritual dryness, where she felt that God was distant. This humanizes her journey even more, showing that even the greatest saints face internal struggles. Despite these battles, she never gave up on her mission. This is a great example for all of us. Faith is not about never doubting, but about continuing even when the light seems faint. These moments of uncertainty did not diminish her work. On the contrary, they made it even more inspiring. Mother Teresa proved that true faith is resilient, and that even the greatest servants of God face their own internal storms. She transformed the pain of absence into fuel to love even more intensely. This vulnerability resonates with everyone because it reminds us that we are human and that, even in our weaknesses, we can find the strength to move forward and do good. Final years and death. In her final years, Mother Teresa faced a series of health problems. Even with a weakened heart, battling pneumonia and other complications, she continued to work tirelessly. Her determination to serve never waned, even when her body began to give out. In 1997, after stepping down from her role as the head of the Missionaries of Charity, she passed away, leaving behind a legacy of compassion that would forever mark history. The world mourned her loss, but her death was not an end. It was a new beginning. After her passing, the Missionaries of Charity continued their work, inspired by her example. Mother Teresa had laid a foundation so solid that, even after her death, her legacy of love and service remained alive and strong. Mother Teresa was canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church in 2016, but for many, she had already been a saint long before the official recognition. Her life was a living testimony to the power of faith, love, and devotion. She may have passed, but her message lives on. We can all make a difference, no matter how small our acts may seem. Conclusion. Mother Teresa's story is one of those rare lives that transcend generations, cultures, and religions. Her radical dedication to the poorest of the poor was not just an example of charity, but a powerful demonstration of how far love can go when we dedicate ourselves to others. Her mission teaches us that we can always do more, that we can always look at others with more compassionate eyes, and that true greatness lies in the small acts of love performed with great care. In a world that often values power and wealth, Mother Teresa shows us another way. A path where the true treasure is found in serving others, in recognizing the humanity in every person, regardless of their condition. Her legacy remains a powerful reminder that, amid chaos, love can always be a light to guide us forward. Let her life be an invitation to all of us to live with purpose, to help those in need, and to seek out the deeper meaning in each act of kindness. Mother Teresa may have left us physically, but her spirit and teachings continue to inspire and challenge us to live better, more meaningful lives.